Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 of the 3v3 tournament that was hosted a few weeks back, I want to say. We have Exosister on the left and Cyber Dragon on the right. Our very dedicated Cyber Dragon player from our Locals, Mr. Andy himself, versus Chan the Man. I'm sure you guys have seen him on Crush Card's channel a time or two before. Came out to our Locals for the 3v3, rocking the Exosister strategy. Always love to see that. Opens up pretty decent here, especially with that shifter play. Pretty exceptional card right now, considering how powerful Tearlament is. But gonna basically start Stella into what I think was Irene. Go into Cast Patel, attempt to search a monster. That's gonna eat an Ash Blossom. We'll see him just set one and pass turn. Now, Cyber Dragon, I don't want to say maybe cares too much about D-Shifter, but it definitely can care about D-Shifter because you're unable to load your graveyard up for things like the Trap card, the Cybernetic Overflow. Hers gets a graveyard effect. I know Core has a graveyard effect. And I know Emergency has like a graveyard effect too. If it's like activation is negated, it has some interesting effect where it can like add itself back to the hand. Something along the lines of that. We'll see how much it matters here. But he's going to go ahead and grab Core. And then normal summon Core to grab Overflow. And I want to say Overflow can also banish from field, if I recall correctly. Face up field and or graveyard. So, yeah. The graveyard being cut off, not a huge issue here, as far as the Overflow is concerned. I'm going to see him follow with the Pot of Prosperity. Going for a Banish 6. I imagine the Cyber Dragon deck has a pretty flexible extra deck. And can pretty much always dig 6 deep. One cool thing, though, about Cyber Dragon is they will actually be getting a little bit of support in the new Battles of Legends sets. Getting that Clockwork Knight card. Basically turns everything on the field into a machine, which can allow them to contact fusion your entire field. Yeah, that's right. Cyber Dragon definitely going to be a even more scarier deck going second than it's been in the past. So we're going to see this Prosperity resolve. He'll grab a copy of Galaxy Soldier and accidentally shuffle the deck. The deck is not supposed to be shuffled after resolving the Prosperity, but it happens. I do believe they correct it and just pull the cards out of the deck that were revealed and put them to the bottom. Easy thing to repair, as long as you remember what was revealed. I mean, most of the time it's probably not going to matter, but, you know, I think they are going to go ahead and correct that. Galaxy Soldier, Pot of Prosperity, Talents, DD Crow, hers. Well, not hers, Noxer. Shuffle the deck, and just like that, game state repaired. Prosperity getting banished. Setting the Overflow, perhaps, perhaps not. Of course, it will only be able to pop one, since Core is the only Cyber Dragon in either the hand or on the field or in the graveyard. Oh, banishes from hand too. Okay. I'm reading over the card again. So I guess, yeah, D-Ship doesn't really bother it too much since it goes from hand, face up field, or graveyard. Did not realize that. Cast Patel will be able to survive here. Being able to go ahead and search out a Exosister Martha, and then resolving Martha, bring out itself and Alice. One other thing too about that Clockwork Knight card, it is low-key Earth Machine support, which is really, really nice. The Vernisylph stuff is very nice for the Earth Machine deck. I don't think it's like the greatest in terms of like what the deck needed, although I have seen a few lists floating around. I know there was a second place regional list of Earth Machine Vernisylph, which looked very cool, kind of piqued my interest. Been kind of distant from the Earth Machine deck as of late, but Clockwork Knight also helps that deck out too. Gives the deck more of a reason to play Foolish Burial Goods. For Overdrive was really your only valuable target to send, but now we have Clockwork Knight, which basically just banishes itself from the grave to add an Earth Machine from the deck to the hand, which is kind of cool. A little bit of a consistency boost there. Adding just a little bit more starters to the deck. So we're going to see him go into Michaelis. Michaelis will search Returnia. And we're just going to go into battle phase, swing over the Michaelis, over the top of the Core, and attack directly with the Cast Patel for a decent chunk of damage, putting his opponent down to 3,600. After all is said and done, Said Exosister is definitely in the driver's seat right now. Looks like he has Dark Ruler in hand And one other card, I couldn't really necessarily tell what that one was. Looks like he's going to go ahead and use the effect of Michaelis now to banish. I don't believe Michaelis has to detach. No, it does detach. Okay. So that'll clear the cybernetic overflow. Opting not to use it. And then we're just going to go ahead and overlay the Michaelis and the Caspatel into Magnifica, as is standard. Set the Returnia, and pass turn. And we'll see if our Cyber Dragon player is able to make some kind of comeback here. He does have core access in the graveyard, which can tutor out a Cyber Dragon. Also, guys, reminder, check out Imperium Duelist down at the link below. Don't forget to check them out if you're interested in picking up new playmats, sleeves, deck boxes, dice, and more. You can use my discount code WinterKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. So we're going to see a Dark Ruler No More activate here for our Cyber Dragon player. There would be an opportunity here to activate Returnia and then chain Magnifica in response to the Returnia to kind of dodge the Dark Ruler. And that would also be the only way to maybe tag out. But it has to respond when your opponent activates card effects. I don't think you'll get the opportunity to do that here. So the Dark Ruler is going to turn off the Magnifica. But we're going to see him activate Vadis. And that's going to go ahead and bring out a copy of Irene and Sophia. Pay 800. Go ahead and just E-Telly for 2. I believe that one Exosister should have been banished from the D-Shifter. Not sure why it was returned to the grave, but it happens. I think he might have just thought like, oh, hey, why is this banished? Put that back in my graveyard. But yeah, it was because of the D-Shifter. So we're going to see our Cyber Dragon player continue on here after resolving the Dark Ruler. I'm going to go ahead and grab a copy of... well, activate a copy of the Cyber Emergency to go ahead and grab a copy of Core. And I can kind of see why the Vadis was used there. Probably worried about the opponent being able to use the Core. And if you use the Vadis, you bring out 2 bodies. So that if he does use the Core, you get 2 free Xyz summons because the card was moved from the graveyard. So that's going to basically shut off the Core graveyard effect. But he does have Galaxy Soldier that we know was added off the Pot of Prosperity the previous turn. And the hers is going to be a perfect discard for that, as it will grab discard fodder for the next Galaxy Soldier that is going to be searched off the first Galaxy Soldier here. Grabbing Cyber Dragon off the hers, and of course another Galaxy Soldier off of the Galaxy Soldier. And could go for an Infinity play here. But I believe Returnia is in the back row. I could have swore I saw him search Returnia off of the Michaelis. Looks like he maybe has a response here to the in-hand effect of Galaxy Soldier. Very hesitant on activating it here. But it looks like he will go ahead and activate it. Paying 800 to go ahead and target one card the opponent controls or in the graveyard and banish it. So we can go ahead and get rid of the Galaxy Soldier on board. And you can either Xyz summon, or you can go ahead and banish another card. Looks like he will choose to Xyz summon here. Possibly for Caspatel or Michaelis. But once this Galaxy Soldier resolves, he will not have to worry about the Core effect, because I believe Core states very similar to how Marincess Coral Triangle reads. I believe your opponent has to be the only one that controls a monster. So he will go for the Michaelis here. And now the Galaxy Soldier will resolve summoning itself. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and see him use the Michaelis and detaching the Irene to banish the Core from the graveyard. Not really going to be live this turn, but, you know, cutting off follow-up is never a bad thing. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of follow-up he could have here. At least our Cyber Dragon player to kind of get through this. Although pretty much all interruptions have been exhausted. The Dark Ruler turning off the Magnifica was kind of huge. Michaelis already using its banish effect. But Michaelis is a very strong follow-up next turn, being able to search packs. So we're going to see him normal summon Core. And Core. Go ahead and search out a Cyber Spell or Trap. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Cyber Load Fusion. Which is a card I had to pull up prior. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon monster as a material by shuffling the fusion monsters listed on it into the deck from among your cards on the field and or your face-up banished cards, but monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except for that fusion summoned monster. You can only activate one Cyberload fusion per turn. So we're going to see him activate the Cyberload. I believe he returned 2 banished cores to go for the Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. And while this is definitely not going to be game, he could end up trying to clear a lot of the field. Although Magnifica has 2,800 defense. Something I need to pull up here is the Rampage Dragon. Yeah, 2,100 attack. And we're going to see him dump Cyber Dragon and Core from the deck to the grave. This card is Fusion Summon. You can target spells and traps on the field up to the number of materials used for its Fusion Summon. Destroy them. Once per turn, you can set up to 2 light machines from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, for each monster sent, this card gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase this turn. But it looks like he's just going to use it as a convenient level 5 body to pair with that Galaxy Soldier on field to go ahead and make Nova, and then into Cyber Dragon Infinity to attach the Michaelis to it, and basically just pass on that after setting 1 card, which I think was another Dark Ruler, if I saw that correctly. And this Infinity is gaining 2, 4, 6, 8, is 2,900 Infinity, so Michaelis cannot contest it as it stands. And Cyber Dragon kind of holding its own here, despite rather weak plays thus far. But there is a Dark Ruler in hand for our Exosister player, and that's going to trade 1 for 1 here, although we won't be able to go for game if he activates it. But he will, because I think that Infinity will be rather problematic. It is, again, at 2,900 prior to the Dark Ruler. No real way to get over it. But now that its effects are negated, go back down to the original 2,100. And the Exosister, Michaelis will swing over, or the Magnifica rather, will swing over. And then main phase 2, we're going to detach to banish the Dark Ruler that was set. Activate Necro Valley, very old school copy. Card's been eroded, I think, more times than any card in Yu-Gi-Oh! If I'm being honest. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Just going to pass turn on Magnifica Necro Valley, which is honestly enough at the end of the day. Like, that's really all you need. It'll turn off any cores in the graveyard now, giving his opponent there the current updated text of Necro Valley. I believe that copy there is so old that it says magic on the card. I think I have one of those too. Magic card instead of a spell. What kind of top deck do we have? It is a Cyber Dragon Core. Very strong top deck there. But I don't know how much it's really going to accomplish. Although he could grab Repair Plant. Repair Plant is usually to grab Galaxy Soldier from what I've seen. And 2 Galaxy Soldiers have been exhausted. There's no discard for it either. So he's just going to use the tag out effect here of Magnifica in response to Cyber Dragon Core's effect. Gaining access to Michaelis, which is now a banish. And as expected, there is the Cyber Repair Plant, which is a card I need to pull up. If Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, you can activate both the effects in sequence. You can add a light machine from the deck to the hand, then target a light machine monster in the graveyard, shuffle that into the deck. It looks like he's realizing it's not going to be enough. And we are going into a game 2. And I think Michaelis can, banish a card they control or in the graveyard. So he could just banish whatever card he tried to shuffle back in. Or, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much there. But either way, we're going to go to game 2. Shoutouts to TCG Player. Check out my affiliate link down in the description. If you guys want to support the channel just by shopping and using that link, small to the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel. It helps out a ton. So here in game 2, we're going to see Cyber Dragon go first. Normal summoning core to go ahead and add a copy of the Repair Plant. And we'll see what kind of board we can establish here. Looks like it's just going to be core set 3. Rather unfortunate. Now, end board like this could fall victim to numerous side deck cards. Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, evenly matched, set our turn. Speaking of, there is Lightning Storm, but we are going to see a D-Barrier change in response to what I imagine is only calling Xyz here. And it looks like the Lightning Storm will trade with another copy of D-Barrier and Called by the Grave, which is not really that great against the Exosister deck itself, but was there just in case his opponent had a copy of D-Shifter that would have kind of come in clutch had he had a better opening hand. And we're going to see him activate Exosister packs. Pay 8, feel great. Go ahead and search out Martha. And Martha, I'm assuming, will be next to activate. And I need to read card here, which is Galaxy Soldier. Yeah, Galaxy Soldier also says, specifically, you can send one of the light monster from your hand to the graveyard as cost. So D-Shifter could definitely turn off Galaxy Soldier as well. It's something I should know, being a Photon Galaxy player myself, which I'm very excited for the new cards to come out in Photon Hypernova. Hopefully the Tearlament deck has been addressed after winning yet another YCS by that point, because it feels like any rogue deck right now that I'd want to play is very, very unplayable into this current format. And you guys know me, I do love playing rogue decks in whatever competitive format I can and showcasing the results to the channel. So hopefully Tier is going to be something that is addressed very soon. But either way, we're just going to see him resolve the Martha, put both of the monsters in attack position, and swing in for some damage. Now, I don't know if I personally would have made the same play. You are under D barrier. Is there any reason to even commit the Martha to the field? But then I guess that puts pressure on the opponent to not move anything out of the graveyard. Maybe they have a way to trigger something. Maybe they have a called by of their own to trigger both of their effects, because, you know, that could be 2 free Xyz summons. They also could have a trap set, which could allow them to play as well. We're going to see Galaxy Soldier Hers combo resolve here. We're going to go ahead and get another copy of Galaxy Soldier and Cyber Dragon from the deck to the hand. And then I can only imagine we're going to see him just activate that Galaxy Soldier, discard Cyber Dragon, go ahead and overlay for Nova into Infinity, and probably take Martha. I don't really think it matters too much on which one you take. Although taking, I mean, you're going to run over one either way. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't really matter which one you take. So yeah, it looks like he'll activate the on-field effect of Infinity to go ahead and take and attach the Ellis to it. And I see a copy of DD Crow in hand, which is really unfortunate, as DD Crow is not going to be doing anything in this matchup. But he will normal summon it. And, I mean, I take back what I said. It will be doing something. We're going to see him link into Relinquished Anima. And that convenient zone placing there to go ahead and steal the Martha to give him a nice little 1,500 attack Anima. Or 1,600 attack Anima. I think Martha has how much attack? 1,600, yeah. So 1,600 from the Relinquished Anima. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 29 from the Infinity. And we're going to see him go into a 1, 2, 3, 4... So a 2-send Zeus. Could be pretty strong here, but we'll see if it's going to be enough. So the trap looks to be Vadis. So it looks like he is going to go ahead and activate it. Paying 800 more life points here. Getting very, very low in life points. But you got to force out the Zeus somehow. Yeah, I mean, I was like, there's no way he's getting any value out of this DD Crow, but just wait. Normal summons DD Crow into Anima. That is wild. I forgot that card even existed. So he's going to bring out Martha and Ellis, as is standard. Well, I mean, if you're resolving Martha, I guess it's standard, but bringing out Martha and Ellis. And then on resolution, we're going to see him activate Zeus, as expected. Wiping everything else other than the Zeus. And I think I see another Exosister trap in hand. I think it might honestly be another Vadis. That could be huge for playing on the opponent's next turn when all they have left is just a Zeus. So we're going to see him normal summon the Stella. During your main phase, you can special summon Exosister from the hand. And then if he controls Exosister Ellis, he can gain 800 life points. We're just going to go ahead and bring out a copy of Irene. And on resolution of that, he's going to go ahead and activate Zeus, setting one and passing. Successfully surviving the double send Zeus. Looks like he won't have anything else to do there other than just drop a turn. Turn the Zeus to attack. Swing in for game. So we will see Cyber Dragon bring it back here, taking it to a game 3 situation. Let's see who will be able to take this one. Exosister will have the jump here, though, being able to go first. Activating Pax to go ahead and secure Martha. Activating Martha to go ahead and bring itself out in Ellis. And again, we'll probably see him just go for either a Michaelis or a Caspitel, depending on what cards need to be searched at this given time. I never know what's like a better thing to hit. Like, what's the tell? Like, if they start with Caspitel and they're trying to grab a monster, is that a better time to hit with Imperm? Or if they start with Michaelis, is it better to end up Imperming that? I oftentimes, if I can, try to Imperm things like Michaelis, because I find that the trap cards that they end up searching during their turn end up being a lot more impactful than just searching a monster. So I personally think hitting Michaelis ends up being the right call most of the time. But sometimes it obviously doesn't matter if they've already hard opened a copy of Returnia or Vadis. Very strong cards. We're going to see him set 3, though, pass turn to our Cyber Dragon player, who's going to lead with a copy of Emergency to not add a Drytron monster, but to add Cyber Dragon Core. And probably see him... No, I'm going to activate Pot of Prosperity first. Probably see a full banish for 6 here. Getting rid of Mega Fleet, Dark, and some other cards. Looks like an extra Infinity in there as well. We'll see if this resolves. And it does. Revealing Overflow, evenly matched, that's huge. Cyber Dragon, Hers, Core, Emergency, and Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication, pretty enticing there. Maybe a little greedy. Maybe. I think the evenly matched maybe would have been the safer bet, but then again, he just kind of keeps the best card, which is, oh, he already has evenly matched. He's just that good, but it doesn't matter. Chandler is better here with a copy of Solemn Judgment. Pay half. Shut that off. And then I guess it's time for Plan B, so we're going to see him normal summon the Cyber Dragon Core. And I guess this is where if you had that second evenly match added off of the Pot of Prosperity, you'd be feeling pretty good about things right now. But he's got a second Solemn Judgment. Old man certainly is saying no. Dropping him down to 18. Setting one. And end phase Returnia to banish the set. Pay 8, feel great. Ends up being a Dark Ruler. Nothing too crazy to have to worry about on his turn if he did decide to leave it. We're going to see Caspitel go ahead and grab Martha. Activate Martha. Bring out itself and Ellis. And we'll probably just see him end up closing out the game here. Michaelis effect, go ahead and search, probably for Pax, since you definitely want to just try to apply a pressure. We know that Magnifica can put on 5,600 points of damage by itself, only leaving him with an extra 2,400 damage to be able to clear things up. Activating Pax, the last pay 800 that he can afford here, dropping him down to just 200. He'll grab Martha. Normal summon Martha, Ellis effect in hand to special summon itself. And if you can just go for anything over 2,400, looks like he'll go for Jabreen. And he'll activate Jabreen effect. All Ixties monsters you control will gain 800 attack. And I think even without Magnifica there, that's still going to be game. So we'll see Exosister take it to 1 there. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justino, and HDH Cyber. Thank you guys seriously so much for your very kind and continued support of this channel.